Hey there, YouTubes. This is Grimweird coming back at you with more MC Eternal modpack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. So today we've got some more Astral Sorcery tools and perks to play with, and some more results for the new mob farm. And then also we're going to prepare. Oh, I built some new weapons, so we can take a look at those. And also, I think we're going to prepare to go into the Nether. So first, in my hand here, we have an Illumination Wand. So you've seen me use the Cave Illuminator. There's also Illumination Powder, which can act as like a one use ability to make these little cave illumination lights. But now we've made the wand, which actually has unlimited light power. So we can go ahead and just right click on something and make one. And then right click again and it'll go away. And that's infinite. So it only has your normal reach range, so you can't go. It's not like a torch thrower, but this is still a handy little doodad to have around. And we did go ahead and move some of the torches off the floor and threw a few of them around in the base too. So that is fun. And then I need to be getting into rubber and plastic at some point for industrial foregoing. And some of the thermal foundation stuff might require it too. So I've made a astral tree farm. Ooh, ah. Although now that I look at it, I'm thinking I might have wanted to put. Okay, so let me back up. So this is a tree beacon, and it's just a normal Astral Sorcery thing. You put a sapling and 6 leaves, and then your normal components here, and it makes a tree beacon. And you plant the tree beacon. Now I'm not sure if I can have if the tree beacon needs to be on a dirt block, but I think in the next time I build one of these, I'm going to try putting it up on top of a chest, just so that the trees don't look like they're floating. But anyway, so you put this down, and then I think it has about a 7 or 8 block radius where it will turn trees into astral trees that are ever renewing. And so what'll happen here, you just saw a block appear. So basically at a sort of reasonable rate, one of these blocks will turn real and fall to the ground. And I have got a crate with a actually Editions Advanced Item Collector here. I went with the Advanced Item Collector because it's got a bit bigger range than some of the other things we could have done. If we right click on this, it defaults to 555, but I have jacked that up to the max, which is 10 in all directions, so that's sort of cool. And I picked up one of the things that fell on me. And so basically, you then plant trees. Now these saplings were planted at ground level, so I'm not sure why they don't show any blocks down here. But basically, you plant them around the tree beacon, and the tree beacon turns them into astral ones that will occasionally drop stuff, and you can see it's sprouting off things. And you can see it speeding up, I think, as the starlight gets stronger. Maybe. I don't know. I tried this once briefly, but I haven't played it. It's possible that it works better when starlight's out. I'm not sure. Most things that Astral Sorcery do. But either you see it just sort of grows. And so I just sort of, it only goes several blocks in either direction, but that's what I'm doing. And you can see I'm collecting rubber wood, rubber saplings, sap, and the sap is what we're going to be turning into rubber and plastic. And also we can use, I hope, a latex extractor on those logs, those rubber tree logs, to get stuff. And let's actually double check that, because I don't think I double checked that. I just assumed I could. Alright, so where are the logs? The logs. Uses, not rubber U. Uses. Tree fluid extractor. So yeah, we can make latex there, and then we can turn that into plastic. That's the main thing I'm looking for. So if we go use on that, we can wait. Anyway, we'll figure it out. The important thing is that we're getting sap, and we'll figure out the rest of it later. So those are my new Astral Sorcery tools. I also went ahead and did another thing. I changed my perks up a little bit. So it's been a while. I've only really done this Astral Sorcery thing all the way through, or most of the way through once. And I sort of forgot how bad the leveling of your perks gets once you get past about the low 20s. It really slows down. It's an exponential curve, so getting those last few points can get a little crazy. And I hadn't spent my perks in a way to maximize extra perk experience, so I wanted to do that. So I tried out the Radiant Star. So the Radiant Star, you put it in your hand and you shoot it like a bow. Just hold right click until it goes off, and it erases all of your perks. There's two ways to do this. You can use a shifting star, which just eliminates all perks and all experience. That's no bueno, but it's something you can do if you're very early in the tree, and very early in Astral Sorcery. And then the more complicated Radiant versions will then be attuned to different things, and instead of losing all your perk experience, it will just take you back down to the initial one. So in this case, it took me down to Evortio. So if we take a look at that, where'd I hide my book? Book. Here it is. So if we take a look at this, and go to perks, you can see I'm 26, almost to 27. And what I have done now is a particular pattern that is all about just getting lots of experience from vein mining. So if we go, so this, if you click this, you get a little summary of where you're at. I'm at 278.85% extra perk experience, so that's good. And if we go perk experience, it outlines in red the ones that give you that. So I restarted in Evortio. Again, that's the one that you gain experience by breaking blocks. And then I basically took the minimum distance to as many red dots as I could get. So the internal track is 20% each. So I got a ways around there. And then also there are these mods out here, or these ones out here called Epiphany. And what you can do is you can run out here. Each of these is 15. But when you take the Epiphany, you also, I think, get credit for some of the ones around them as well. I forget exactly how it works, and I was moving sort of fast when I did this. So basically I've got, by taking, I think, this Epiphany defense, I think I also got credit for the chakras of defense. Anyway, something to think about. And so then as I get a couple more, that's probably as far as I'll get with, this is probably about as good as it's going to get. So when I take this up to 30, I'll use the second Radiant Star that I build, and then I'll go back down, and then I'll respend all of these again, that time maximizing it for what I want my in-game build to be, which is going to be all about criticals and projectile damage, probably mostly. So we're going to want to start over. We'll probably start again in Evortio. We'll probably come into the center again, because this gives you 3 bonus perk points. So there's 30 levels, so you can have 30. But if you take the middle one, you get 3 free as well. So you can end up with a total of 33. And then we'll come back out here and we will maximize. We'll get things like Blade Finesse and Lethal Draw. And if we can get into it, possibly increased critical, or going for the one that finishes them off if they're below 15%. And we'll come up through here and get like Sniper and Heavy Strike and all of the good bit of crit stuff. And there's tons of projectile damage. I prefer ranged in this game. Projectile damage. So there's tons of projectile damage in here that we can pick up along the way too. Alright, that's enough of that. Next thing, I made new weapons, so that's important. So let's run out to, it's nighttime, so let's go ahead and run out to my duck blind, my sniper's nest, if you will. This is cheesy, I'll admit it's cheesy, but I sort of hung out in my AFK in my sniper's nest last night, overnight, just to see what my mob farm would do. I did decorate it though, so it looks a little less cheesy. Monsters don't even know I'm in here. So basically, when I say I hid out here AFK overnight, I basically just, did this and ran off to bed. And, a few hours later, I got up. My mob farm over there will have done lots of stuff. So anyway, I wanted to show off the new weapons. So the first one we got is an Ender Bow. It has got all the normal things. So it's got... I'm going to have to change my thing here. I've got a horrible thing where large is too small for me, but auto is too big. But if we do this, at least now we can read this. So I've got Empowered 5 and Pocket Anvil on the bow. So that's all cool. I hadn't done these kinds of weapons for a while because I sort of like the Tinker weapons, so it took me a while to remember. But if we shift right click, I couldn't figure out how to get all the mods back into them and out of them. But if you shift right click, you actually put the thing that you want to modify down in this slot. And that's how you do the modifications, is down there. But anyway, shift right click, open this up again. So I've got the best anvil possible. I've got empowered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. And that's all you can put in a bow. And I also made an Ender Mark II. Whoa! I forgot it has travel. So that is a bit of a problem with the Ender Mark II's anvil function. But anyway. The Ender Bow, if we mouse over this again, it's also, I've enchanted it with Infinity, Power 5, Unbreaking 3, Withering, and Tombstone Soulbound. I've never used Tombstone Soulbound, but it's part of the Co-Rail Tombstone pack, and I think it's, I'm not sure the normal Soulbound works well in combination with Co-Rail, so I thought I would try out Tombstone Soulbound since I had a book that dropped off of some boss. So that is doing well. And then over here I've got an Ender Mark II. These are upgrades of the Dark Bow and the Dark Steel Sword. And actually I think they're a little easier to make than the dark ones if you're into Astral Sorcery and have the ability to turn sandstone into instone like I do. Because instone is easier than the nutritious sticks. Sorry, had to cough there. So basically this is a slightly better than the Dark Sword and slightly better than the Dark Bow from Ender.io. Yeah, and so what else is there to say about these? The Ender Mark II It has got, says it's possible to get to empowered 5, but I didn't see that open. I'll have to double check that. So it's currently got travel, where you can basically Ender Pearl travel, which I hate that. I might take it off. And then it's got empowered 4. It says it's possible to upgrade it to power 5. I didn't see a slot for power 5, but I'll double check that. It's got direct, so when I kill a mob, its loot should go directly into my inventory. And again, it's got pocket anvil, and I may just take that off just because, well, I'll leave it on there. Maybe I'll take it off because, I don't know, it interferes with travel. I'll have to see if you can remap the keys. I looked briefly, but didn't see a way to remap the keys. And this one, you can see it's up to 16 attack and 1 point or 2 point something attack speed with the bonuses. But the question is, does it shoot? Oh, and no, it's no longer... Alright, so yeah, I'll just take these guys out. Yes, it shoots. It does pretty well, but I will say that I've also, another thing I've done, since my mob farm is now giving me tons of experience, another thing I have done, let's go ahead and turn this back up. Video settings, auto, too big. But now at least you guys can see things better. The skill book for level up reloaded. So I had a bunch of experience coming out of my mob farms, so I went ahead and did this stuff. So for archery, I've got all 10 levels of archery. Let's take a look at... that draws the bowstring back faster, and then also arrow speed. Got all 5 levels of this, so it's 50% extra arrow speed, and don't know how much faster, but it seems to be drawing back a lot faster. And then I've also got sneaking decreases mob detection range, so that seems pretty cool. The only problem is sneaking doesn't work well when you have your pocket anvils on, so I might have to take those out of my ender bows and travel as well, so that I can sneak and hold my weapons without activating either travel or the pocket anvil. And then stealth damage. So once I take those out, and I haven't played around with this, but I might need to with the bosses, I'm hoping that I can basically do a lot of damage while sneaking, so I can be a sniper. It'll be like playing Skyrim again. So that's all cool. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played around with it too much. Basically, I've stood out here at night and shot down a bunch of things. I did get some bounties from that, so that's nice. You can see I've got a bunch of green check marks in the bounties. So you can open up the ability to get bounties really quick just by hitting the... where is this? Quests. There's a bounty board somewhere in here. I don't know where the bounty board is, but anyway, bottom line is you click the center one, and then that opens up all the bounty trees for you, and you can just get credit for shooting things. So I've been shooting things. And it's nice because I have gotten some good rewards out of that. Hey, you. Thwap. Draw speed is pretty good. So I gotta love that combination of, I gotta love that level up skill tree that lets you draw speed that fast. because I hate that aspect of bows is that you gotta draw and release, draw and release. I have a hard time getting into the right rhythm. Um, anyway, so this is where I spent last night. Let's go take a look real quick over here. The mob farm. I was finding it at night when I'm using this. I was finding it hard to see where this is compared to this. So I made a little pocket for me to step into so that I know I'm in the right spot. I don't think anything has changed here other than that I let it run, and so I got a few more things since last episode. So I've decided to hold on to some of the diamond stuff because I can throw that in the pulverizer and each of these will turn into a diamond. Probably don't need to, and I'll probably stop doing that at some point, but I might as well. And I can smelt down gold armor. I've gotten a few more of the mechanism stuff, the obsidian gear, so that's cool. I've gotten a absolutely stunning amount of books. This is actually me destroying many books. So anytime it gets over about 4, like this, I just grab half of them and throw them away just so that I don't end up with duplicates. They stack in stacks of 16, so as long as I have them, low enough, and I, do the sort, use my middle mouse button and sort them, I know I won't get duplicate stacks here anywhere. So that's cool. That's definitely one of the things. That's probably finally going to get around to making my wizardry table and wand next time. I got a wide variety of crap over here, a lot of which I don't know what it does. I did take a look at dungeon tactics stuff. So these dungeon tactic ones, like Bark 3, appear to be like one use enchants. So like on a piece of armor, I think what Bark 3 does is it'll give you protection 3, but then as soon as you're hit, it goes away. So it's like preloaded things, I think. And then these scrolls, I don't know, something similar. I'm not 100% sure what all that stuff does yet. I'm getting more primitive mobs eggs. I haven't really used those yet. I should play around with them probably at some point. I'm getting lots of the instrumental mobs, instruments. I haven't figured out what to do with that. Basically, I'm just keeping a variety of them for now. More dungeon tactics stuff. So the magic pouch is basically like an ammo bag that you fill up with magic dust, this stuff. So if you have the magic pouch in your hand and magic dust in your inventory and right click it, I think the dust goes into the bag. I haven't played with it much. And then that dust in these bags is what allows you to have the mana, if you will, to cast these scrolls. And most of these scrolls don't sound very useful. However, I think there are some cool ones there that I might want to look into for single-use ones. So I'm saving magic bags, magic pouches, and I'm saving magic dust. And eventually I will probably look into making some of this stuff. Maybe. I've gotten a few rewards too. I got another mob fan as a reward from some bounty or something. So I'm throwing just random stuff in here for now. But I let this run overnight, and you can see that I'm pulling most stuff out. I just haven't gotten rid of instrumental mob stuff and the vanilla stuff. Some of this I'm keeping for now. But it's running pretty smooth. I think it's smooth enough that if we were to get our drop of evil and let this go full time, I think it would be manageable. So this sort of gives you a feel for the kinds of things that you're going to pull out of there. And again, all the enchant books that come out of all the monsters that drop those, all the yellow monsters, those are getting trashed for now. I just don't think enough of them are useful. and you get so many drops. So that is that. So what else have I done? I have, if we go back over here, I have done some excavating. So I think either last episode or episode before I showed that I did make elevators down to bedrock. So I have, in an attempt to, this was mostly about getting Astral Sorcery perks, so I wanted to vein mine a bunch of stuff anyway to get my Astral Sorcery perks up to 30th level. So basically I'm following the same outline as my upstairs base. So this little sort of truncated T shape of, so my crafting would be over here, and then my bed and my enchanting stuff is over there, and then my mob farm, or my little mob corner, and my cooking station is over in this chunk. So for right now, I'm just gonna open these up because I know that I'll be keeping these chunks loaded. That's why, so I don't want to necessarily have to load tons and tons of chunks, so I'm sort of keeping things this size. So we're going to put some farms in here soon. I got a ton of rat meat from my mob farm, so that was sort of handy, and I cooked up a bunch of that, so I have rats. 2.5 hunger and 3 saturation, so that's pretty good. Not quite as good as the baguettes, which are 3 and 3, but I'm running low on wheat. But now I have rats coming in, so I can use those as my sort of stock food now. And I also figured out what's going on with aluminum. So, here, I can't see it, but so there's bauxite that spawns lower that is a different texture than the bauxite that spawns up here. And the bauxite up here says bauxite ore type aluminum. So this is why I sometimes got a little bit of aluminum, is that when I kill these guys, they turn into aluminum ore. But I hadn't been doing that because I felt like I had tons and tons of bauxite. So when I break them, they turn into aluminum ore and they go into my Dagnall. I just hadn't done enough mining up at this level and had been ignoring bauxite because I thought I had all the bauxite I needed from the stuff downstairs, which is not aluminum. Anyway, so this is going to be my crop area. This is going to be my animal area, probably. And again, I've hogged out roughly a T shape. The dragon did the work of hogging all this out for me. The dragon destroyed a lot of blocks. It's got me a bit terrified because I've now seen some of the monsters like the Trollagers and the Cyclops and the dragons will actually just take out villages. It's a little scary. I might be all alone in this world at some point, and I got to be careful not to lead a bad dragon back to my home. Although I think I'm getting tough enough now that I think the dragons up above probably only have like around 1,000 to 1,500 hit points, but I might be able to kite one at this point if I have a fire resistance ring on. So if I have one of these fire charms to sort of limit the amount of fire damage I take. So anyway, yeah, you can also see that, so this was mostly hogged out by the dragon, but if we come down here, a lot of this was hogged out for me by me getting experience for Astral Sorcery. And I've also gone off and done some of this in other areas. So I've done lots of mining. And it's sort of cool because I've also got the... this skill tree is nowhere near as interesting. fact, have I even done? I haven't even done any of this stuff. But if we go back to level up, I've also got this stuff maxed out. So better harvesting speed, which is nice because I have a pretty slow pick. And then also, which is it? Prospecting gives you a chance to double ore harvests, plus 5% chance per doubling. So I got a 25% chance of that happening, and that is causing a bunch of these spare chunks to come up. So these guys, Level Up Reloaded, is the mob that does this skill book. And so this is what that prospecting perk does, is that when you break a block, you have a decent chance of getting these, an ore block, you have a decent chance of getting these extra bits of ore here, which you can smelt up. And I think these double as well. I think they're just like the pieces of ore. So I think those ore double as well. So that's pretty nice. Alright, so now let me pause here, and I need to get a drink. My throat's a bit scratchy. And we'll pause and see what the runtime is. And then if we have time, we will talk about possibly preparing for a nether run. I did briefly, I will say that mechanism and nuclear craft are pretty much gated by needing to go to mine in the beneath. And I wasn't sure what the beneath was, but I've definitely seen a few things of the between, and I've seen what they've done. They've jacked up the config to make fire and ice dragons really tough, and some other things. Added like Fish's Undead Rising and Mowzy's mobs for all the extra undead and for the little witch doctor guys and whatnot. So I'm a little worried that the nether is going to be a handful in this mod pack. So I got an early nether star, and so I thought maybe we want to try to go to the beneath. Maybe it's not too bad. When I look for the beneath, all it is like beneath teleporter, which I've been tempted to make, and spawn shadow, which I wasn't sure what that was. So I did a quick Google, and it turns out it's sort of similar to the dark, or the deep dark, in that it's darkness, and the darkness hurts you, and those shadows try and pull you into the darkness, and so on and so forth. Mobs spawn down there. And again, I wasn't sure how tough it was, but I thought I'd take a look at the config, because it sounded like there was a lot of options that mod pack designers could do to it. And I took a look at the config file and went, oh yeah, we're not going there quite yet. Basically, if I read the config file right, the beneath monsters will have 10 times their normal health and do 8 times as much damage as normal. So we might give that a miss for now, till we get a little bit tougher. I think we're getting there. My armor is holding up well, and I think these new swords with the level up skills, I think we're doing okay. But I just want to get a little bit more squared away before I tackle that stuff. Anyway, so instead we're going to go to the Nether and the Twilight Forest, because we need to go to both of those places, and they shouldn't be as bad, hopefully. So I'm going to pause now, get a drink, and what we can see over here is that I'm going to do like a breaching exercise on the Nether, since I'm not sure how tough it is, and I only did a little bit of watching of playthroughs, just to get a feel for the mod pack. And it looked like the Nether had some crazy stuff in it, like creepers that throw TNT at you and whatnot. So I think we're going to come in relatively hot and put up a base real quick to make ourselves secure. So if we have time, I will show you that. And I'll be right back. Alright, I am back, and we're going to whip out a giant marble cube that's got like double walls for our pillbox when we enter the Nether. And let's see. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to change this to build to me. I already got it started because I wanted to decide what I wanted to build so that I wasn't waffling on camera like I usually do. We'll run over here. Build to me. Corner. So we got a 2 thick floor. We got 2 thick walls. We are going to have a 2 thick ceiling. We're going to change this to surface. And we're just going to go bam. Alright, we've got a 2 thick everything now. I'm going to leave a door right here. That may not be where the final door ends up, but we'll leave a spot right there. So now we want to copy this so that we can deploy it in a moment's notice when we arrive in the Nether. All we need to do is find a flat spot to put it on. We don't even need to be that flat. And then we'll just whip this out. So for that, we're going to take our copy paste tool. And we're going to go into copy mode. And I sort of always forget which point's the anchor. I think the first thing you do is, or the last thing you do is the anchor spot. So we're going to shift right click out into space and clear. Copy area reset. Then we're going to try right click there. And then a shift right click here maybe. And that little green line around the outside of my copy paste area shows me that I think it has worked. And I think the final spot is your anchor spot. So if that's true, we can go switch to copy mode. Oh no, it screwed up. How does that always happen? Let's go back to copy mode. And let's shift right click into space and clear. So maybe we start at the bottom. Basically, I want this spot to be, where I build from. So we're gonna right click there. And then shift right click here, and maybe that'll work. Okay, did I get green lines? Looks like I got green lines. So if we change to paste, aha. Alright, so now when I paste this at my feet, it'll make the structure. So we will, step through our portal. And we might actually make this around our Nether Portal. It won't overwrite existing things. So if we go... I don't think I have enough to... No, this is going to take 1,320 marble, and I don't have that much left on me after building that structure. But I will. Yeah, let's go. Let's give it a try by vein mining the structure, and then we will reload up and we'll try deploying this to see what it looks like. So let's vein mine this, pick up all of our marble again. Now, obviously, you can do this with more complex structures. Direwolf 20 likes to make modular bases. Oh, hey, we need food. Where he makes a 9x9 template and then just connects a bunch of 9x9 rooms together. I like my rooms a bit bigger than that. As you can tell from my base, I usually go more by 16 or 17 by 17. Probably usually an 18 by 18. Let's see, go ahead and finish this real quick. Oh, I did that completely wrong, didn't I? Fine, be that way. I need block reach. Might have to break down, and I think I was missing some component for the block reach thing that you can add to your Tinker's Construct or Construct's Armory chess piece. That, and I'm not sure I want to do that, or if I want to do attack speed and attack strength. Should have started vein mining from the top. Quite often what I do, I wanted to do this on camera so you guys could see, how I do what I do. Usually what I do is, whenever I start a mod pack, I made a super flat version of it in creative mode. And then what I'll do is I'll go over to creative mode and I'll, build myself a marble cube there, and I'll copy it, paste it there, and then I will just paste it into game here. All right. So now, in theory, what we can do is we can rotate it so that it's here, and then we're going to anchor it so that I can move around. And there you go. We have a cube. And if we mouse over it, I'm missing 6 mystery things. I think those 6 mystery things were possibly these, which don't get copied and pasted, so no big deal. But there we go. And of course, this isn't real. But yeah. Let's do it. So I'm going to pause here and figure out where I want my Nether Portal. And then I will construct the Nether Portal, and we will ignite it. We'll go through, and we will deploy the marble cube. And then probably end the episode there for today. Hopefully we'll have time to do a little quick looking around just to get a lay of the land. My to-do list for the Nether is I need some sort of wither bone, either the necrotic bone or wither bone or what have you, to finish the quest, which gives me the drop of evil for the mob grinding utilities quest. I need a few of these orange slime balls so that I can emboss my Tinker's stuff. And I'd like to find, if I see a tree from a specter sapling, I don't know if these grow in the Nether or not, but if I see a place to get specter saplings from random things, I want those as well. And the other thing before we leave is I'm glad I looked at this. We're going to try and make some tablets of recall, because that's a way that we can use to portal around. We probably don't need to if we build it around the portal. If we have time, we'll do that, and if not, we'll save the Co-Rail Tombstone tablet of recall stuff for another time. So I'm going to pause here. I haven't exactly decided where I want to put my Nether Portal. I want it away from my base, but not too far away. I don't like listening to it, and I don't like pigmen. But I will be right back. Alright, I am back, and I've decided where to put my portal. I just always like to have a portal to hell be in the basement down near bedrock. Makes me happy that it's down there. Seems like the right spot for it. So basically I just used building gadgets to just slap up another cube next to my fire mills for my GP production. Made a little cage around it in case, I know normally pigmen will spawn. I think they actually spawn on these two spots at the bottom here. I think those are spawn points for nether creatures, maybe. But again, I don't know what's going on with this mod pack, and I don't want any weird nether beasties roaming my base. So we made a little cage for him down here. So let's go ahead and light this bad boy up. And then another thing that I did in between episodes that I wanted to show you guys was I had these things. There's these cyclic inventory upgrades. So I was missing a poisonous potato. I've been getting drops of these, and of course nether quartz and whatnot, and I've been mining. Raw salmon I can fish up. I got a bunch of, but actually I think I got these out of a food crate. I got pumpkin pies out of chests and various food crates. Same thing with cakes, I've been finding them. This is pretty easily craftable at this point. And so I was all ready to go on this, but I didn't have poisonous potatoes and didn't feel like farming them or trying to find a village that had a bunch. The one village that is close by that I'm used to is now controlled by vampires that don't like me. But anyway, so in one of the food bags that I opened up or something, I got a couple of poisonous potatoes, so I went ahead and made the inventory upgrade. So what that does is it's key map to C, or you can push this, oh no, it's key map to X, or you can push this button. And it gives you another slot, and my GUI is so large that it's overriding, but basically it allows you to switch gears. So I have my gear set that I'm wearing. If I click this, it'll swap to basically my night vision helmet and then swap back. These can be used as just 4 more layers of inventory like these, but then if you push one of these, like let's put some wood in here, so if I push this, it puts this stuff away, much like this, it just swaps. So it swaps this hotbar with that hotbar. Swap back. So that's pretty cool. So that was the inventory upgrade from Cyclic. And then also there is one for, if we take a look here, an inventory crafting table. You can have an onboard one as part of your inventory GUI. So again, all I was missing really was a poisonous potato, and I got a couple of those. So I made that and ate that, and now it's hooked to hotkey to C. I think I have the hotkey turned off. But you can hit C, and now your little 2x2 crafting becomes like a crafting tables thing here. So we can go ahead and use this. Right now we're going to make some co-rail tombstone stuff, if I've got that recipe right. And maybe I don't. Oh, it's just one. So first thing we're going to do is make ourselves another simple grave. This is one that we're going to basically set up as another home point, if you will. What you can do is you can put this grave, we're going to put a grave like this in the nether, and then we're going to create a strange tablet, turn it into a tablet of recall, and then when we click on this tablet of recall, which has a certain amount of uses, it'll teleport us back to this simple grave that we're going to make. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make just a stack of this. And now I'm getting a decent amount. Well, let's not make a whole stack. Let's make a half stack. I'm now getting a decent amount of graves dust from my mob farm, but I don't want to use it all up. Alright, and with that, we're just going to make, which one do I want? Yeah, we'll use this one. It uses the fewest resources. So now we've got another simple gravestone. And then we want to make some of these, like say that many. So we got 7 of the tablets. And then we want to turn those, oh, I forgot bone meal. It's always something. Opened up a bunch of stuff with that. Wasn't really planning for or expecting that, but hey, whatever. So now we're going to do that. Whoa, what just happened? We're going to take the blank tablets. We're going to put a little bone meal on them. And we're going to make, that was more than I really wanted, but we're going to do that anyway. And we will store some of these. Actually, let's go upstairs and turn them all into... okay, how do I want to do this? Now let's go ahead and take them all with us. So the reason I'm pausing and thinking, pardon me if my internal monologue was not out loud, currently we've been getting experience for Co-Rail Tombstone by every 3 hours or so. We click on the Ankh of Prey on our gravestone upstairs, and that gets us a little bit of knowledge. So we're level 3.5, and we've spent time here. Wonder if you can undo this. I think you might be able to get rid of these, because now that I have all the ender pearls that I want, I'm not sure that I actually need to do this one. I might want to switch it over to one of these other ones. For instance, the tablets of recall that we're going to use, we can make it so that it's... I don't want to do that either. Oh, anyway, that's a whole different story. We'll get into that later. Bottom line is, one way to get experience is to do that Ankh of Prey near a tombstone. Another way is to actually make tablets and scrolls. So these guys, the scrolls that give you things like reach and sight and preservation, blah, blah, blah. This one can be pretty powerful, but it actually takes gas tiers. So unless you have some sort of gas tier farm, you don't want to necessarily make a bunch of those. But anyway, making these gives you more knowledge of death, which levels you up more in Co-Rail. That's what I'm trying to say in the long way about it. So we want to make a bunch of these, regardless of whether we're using them or not. And bone meal and dark marble is a very cheap way to make a bunch of these. So we're going to make a bunch of these, much more than we need. That's why I've got a bunch on me. There, I finally spat it out. Put that away and that away. Let's go ahead and put that away and that away. All right. And so we are going to create these or link these to the gravestone in the Nether. That's what I was trying to get to with all that humming and hawing. Pardon me while I think out loud, or not out loud. Alright, so we got our building gadget. We are all set to potentially... Oh, not building gadget. Let's put that up here. Get our copy-paste tool out. Let's actually have things like this. Alright, and we are ready to deploy the marble cube once we hit the beachhead. Alright, let's go. It's go time. That's terrifying. Is it raining in the Nether? Loading. Please wait. Hello. World generation is taking its sweet time. Hey, we made it. Alright. Oh man, that shows up as a storm here. And we already got a ton of lava around us. Let's go ahead and... What happens if we... I'm tempted to actually do something like that. Nothing's close enough to attack me yet, so that's good. Gives me a bit of a time to decide where to go here. I have a feeling this is a ledge with a lot of lava under it. Yep, sure enough. Good thing I made my copy paste base with a double floor. The problem is we actually want to incorporate the Nether Portal. So let's see what happens if we do something like let's anchor it there and see what we've got. Okay, so it comes out far enough. Yeah, that might do the trick. We'll have to replace the floor because it won't overwrite blocks. Are we centered up? You know what? I think that's going to do it. So I'm going to hit right click and pull the trigger on that. And we've got a base. And we can always make a secondary base somewhere else. I think the fact that all this lava is around us is sort of nice in that we've got probably the lava squids taking up a lot of monster spawnage downstairs. Alright, we've got a roof over our head already, so that's good. Man, this the equivalent of rain in the Nether. I have never seen this before, so that is interesting. Let's go ahead and fix the floor, because that's not going to do. So we want to actually get the exchange tool out. We do not want to use wood. We want to right click on our walls. So now we are tuned up to do marble. We can up the size on that a bit. Not in a rush now since we're not getting attacked, so that's good, good, good. Got to be careful not to replace the obsidian from my portal. That would be bad, bad, bad. So let's dial that size down. Just do single blocks through here. Alright, we've got a floor. I hate it when things right outside my doorway get lit on fire by, like, say, ghasts. So we're going to go ahead and bump this back up in size. Let's go ahead and we'll do surface. Bump it up to maybe a 5. we're going to want to, I don't want to use a lot of good stuff out here, so we're going to change to cobblestone. We're going to shift right click on, whoa, we're going to shift right click to now replace with cobblestone. And do some of this action. Check the radar, make sure we don't have a ton of stuff going on. And let's just replace a lot of the surface out here with cobblestone, just so that it doesn't get lit on fire and burn like netherrack will do that. Let's get the building tool out. Yep, that's my copy paste tool. We're done with that. Although if you wanted to set up a big base, you could do something modular and then you know, do a bunch of modular rooms off of each other. We want this. We want this at nope, we want this. Build to me. And we want to go ahead and use the cheap stuff. Alright. Go back to exchange. Whoa, there's something. Hey, we finally got attacked, and it was one of those things that sort of worried me. We got to make some room here for loots. Didn't take a ton of damage, so the armor held. That's good. And the sword killed it. I was sort of a little freaked out, so I didn't actually pay attention to what it was. I think that's called a juggernaut or something. Some sort of like armored blaze. Let's see, why did you not? Oh, because I replaced you. When you replace, it goes into your inventory, not into your dank null. So got that going on. Let's get out one of my bags here for junk. Oh, look, junk. I opened a bunch of food bags. This is the results that I got the poisonous potatoes from, and I went, ooh, poisonous potatoes. And then I forgot to clean out the bag. But let's throw that and that up there. Alright, now back to securing our stronghold here. Let's see, exchange tool. So I'm going to exchange that. Oh, and some blocks did break, I think. Good to know. It's making a weird sound. Wonder why that is. Alright, well. Oh, it's one of those guys. Hey, buddy. Well, they're one-shottable. That's good. Ender bow for the win there. Alright, well, I think that about establishes a foothold. We'll go ahead and secure the doorway here. I made it extra wide in case I needed to fly up into it. But now, we'll do that. And for right now, we'll just put a door on here. And I'm going to pause here. We're probably, wonder what happens if I put some light in here. Put a little light in here. Alright, we are lit up like Christmas. I'm going to pause here, see what our runtime is looking like. If we have a little time, we'll do a little exploration, but I have a feeling we're about done. Be right back. Yeah, so we are already in overtime, so we're going to call it right here. Let's just real quick, I haven't even looked around yet, so let's go ahead and just look around at least for a second. And then we'll call it quits. I don't want something to knock me off into the lava. I do have a lava charm, and I have my squid ring. Oh, hello. These guys are a pain in the ass. They have a decent amount of knockback on them. I was just saying, I don't want to get knocked into the lava, but I have some things to help me with that. Come here, you. What the hell's that? Salamander or something? Boy, these things are not easy to shoot. There we go. Kill a salamander. Done. I think that's another bounty. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, just wanted to look around, see if we could see any nether fortresses. Which I can't, but it's hard to tell with the storm going on. Wouldn't mind seeing if we could find any of those. Hey, buddy. Still not used to how this bow shoots. There, we got some of those guys out of my way. We want to find a slime pit, and I'm not seeing much in the way of trees. I'm not sure if that's a thing in this version of the Nether. Oh, hey, there's another fortress. Nice. I wonder if those come out of blaze spawners. Ooh, I think that was one of those nasty little creepers that I don't want to deal with. Alright, so we can fly over there, and hopefully there will be one of those juggernauts is going to sneak up behind me and knock me out into the lava, isn't he? Gotta keep my thumb on my spacebar for my squid ring. So hopefully some withers will be spawning in that area. So if so, that will be an excellent login. So I might do a little bit of exploring just to get a wither bone in between episodes, but we'll come back and do some of this together as well. And with that, let's call it an episode. And next time, I'm definitely going to get us prepped up for some Electroblob's wizardry. So I will make a wand crafting table and get all that ready to roll. Oops, one last thing. Sorry, I know my episodes tend to be a bit long, but whatevs. Let's go ahead and throw that down. So what we're going to do here is one reason it's nice is because it'll attract souls, and you can do stuff with souls. But the other thing we really want to do here is we want to do this. So right now, if we take a look at our knowledge of death from Corail Tombstone, we're halfway through third level. We're going to take this totem of tablet of recall, and we're going to. Oh, we gotta wait until there's a soul there. Okay, when there's a soul there, we're gonna right-click on this, and we will basically attune this tablet to this spot, and then anywhere out in the world or in other dimensions, we'll be able to once we've right-clicked this on a soul. We will be able to, I think it has 5 charges, and we will be able to click that from anywhere to teleport to this grave. So it's going to be a quick way to, and the storm let up. With some better visibility, I want to see what's going on out here. So we got lots of big salamanders and craziness going on. We do have another fortress, which is nice. We got those guys, which is not nice. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's the level up is making the flight path on my arrows look really funky. I have to pretty much ignore the flight path, and holy cow, that thing's got like some sort of Blastoise cannon on it. And a decent amount of hit points. You can see the flight path on my arrow is wrong, but the animation is wrong. I think that might have something to do with level up. Whatever that was, we killed it. Got some of those fire foxes. It makes it hard to gauge. Oh, I can see where the arrows landed. It makes it hard to gauge how much air I need to give them. With that gas sneaking up on me. Alright, well anyway, things are doable. As long as some withers spawn down in that fortress, we are golden. Let's get out of here. And so next time when the little purple ball here indicates that a sphere, or sorry, a soul is there, we'll be able to link a tablet to it, and then we'll be able to teleport to this grave using that tablet. And so we'll keep one of these in our backpack. And if I'm, in the Twilight Forest, and I suddenly think to myself, hey, I'd rather be in the Nether, I can go straight there. That's all I was trying to say with all that. And we are home. Yes, no, maybe. Since I'm going to have way more of these than I need, way more of these tablets than I need, since I'm basically going to spam them to level up. Corail Tombstone. Oops, where am I going? I can show you what this looks like. So this has got the little purple sphere, so we know it has a soul. We are halfway. And we're going to right click. Boom. Let the magic happen. And now this is all shiny. And it tells you that it will teleport you to this gravestone, which is at dimension 0, 131098 minus 1426. And so now, again, since we're going to use these to level up, so I gotta look where we are here. We're right above the N. I didn't look at that. But now if we click and hold and draw it like a bow and boom, release, we appear on top of the tomb. And that was another goal for us. And I don't really need this, so I'm going to go ahead and destroy it. But let's do another one. So now, because I need to see how much experience we have. Okay, so now we've moved up about one of these, and we're right past the right near the edge of that. So if we do, oh, we don't have a soul there now. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm going overboard here. That's one of the ways you can help level up your Corail Tombstone to help you get more benefits to either your ghost form or use more scrolls and yada yada, or other types of stuff. Alright, that's it for this time. Next time we will explore the Nether a bit, and we will start working on Electroblob's wizardry. Bye.